you got framed for murder, double homicide.
Yeah, that was in 1986.
So that was before.
Yeah, way before. I was
So
21 at the time.
damn. So what
And
can
then they
you
told me I
talk
was
about?
never coming home.
So how did that all happen? How were you even framed for it?
The eyewitness was the actual murderer,
Oh,
and he couldn't
and
say he was there, so they gave him immunity for robbery, and he needed someone to take his place, and he pointed at me. He says, "Paul, I got blamed for everything." Like I said, once again, most of the stuff I did, straight out, I don't believe in killing. I'd rather give someone good booting, in front of everybody. This way they don't forget. If you kill
yeah,
someone, they don't learn nothing.
no, they don't. They can't.
No.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
there's no
so they
lesson
learn
there.
nothing. I
Yeah.
mean, the last bit I did was in 2009. I did 3 in a day. My ex-wife and her boyfriend came to my house to rob me. He got hit with an axe. She got harpooned with a samurai sword.
What the fuck? Why?
That's what I said. Why, you insane? You talking about the houses? We would have went to a bank. It would have been easier. How do you think this was going to end?
Yeah, man. So, with that trial, I guess, so they just believed his statement that you were there and that you
Well,
did
he
it
had
right
all the
away.
knowledge, and he was the last one seen with the 2 guys that got murdered. They were basically, and I don't want to speak ill of the dead. I'm friends with all people involved. I'm even friends with Facebook friends and on the phone friends with the guy who framed me.
Damn, really? That
Yeah.
that takes you got to have a big heart to do that, man. Because I
Well,
mean, how many years were you sitting there?
um, I think 3 years total. I'm the first guy
Damn.
ever in the history of the world probably to get released on bail after being convicted of a double natural life.
Damn. So when
Anthony
they
Daly
gave you
wrote
that
that up.
conviction,
It's like, yeah, you can look up all the case laws. That's why I love it when people say I did this, I testified. I've never testified against anybody. I've never taken a deal, and I've never cooperated or worked with the police.
fuck. So when they
Yeah.
when they gave you that conviction, what did they make any offers or anything at all to you
Oh
to?
yeah, they offered me. They says if you know something, come in and testify now. We'll give you time served, accessory to murder. I don't know nothing. I said I can't tell you what I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't do it.
Jesus. So I mean, what were you thinking, when they said, "Okay, well, you're convicted, you're going away for life. You're
Well,
not getting out."
the 2 guys who got killed were both mob families, you know, and the other kids all hung around with mob guys, and it was a real bad situation. Now I got my co-defendants looking to kill me, and the mob war was going on then. One of them, I lived through a couple, and it was going on back then, and I had both sides putting contracts on me.
Jesus, man. So everybody was after you, even while you were in the jail
Oh
or the
yeah,
prison
yeah. I
too.
never PC'd either. Walked all the halls.
Damn.
I've got kicked out of prisons for fighting.
Kicked out of prison?
I got kicked out of OCC. I think it's a Supermax.
Oh,
Uh,
and they just sent you somewhere else?
yeah, they sent me to a medium. I won't get out of bed. I see no reason for me to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and make my bed and lie on top of my jacket on it. I'll stay under the covers. Thank you, officer. Go shoot.
Leave me
They
the fuck
called the
alone.
team. They extract me out of the cell. I don't fight. I go with them. And
Yeah.
then they can't get me out of the hole. So they don't know what to do with me.
So basically, at that point, you were just like, "Fuck life. I don't want to do anything. I've been convicted. I didn't even do this." So you're just
Yeah.
giving up on life at that point.
Well, I got found not guilty of the murders right before I started hanging out with Bobby and them in '95. And
Well, I mean, when they couldn't get you out of bed and stuff, when you were
oh
actually
yeah,
in
well,
prison,
it's a
when you're
rule in
convicted.
prison. You got to get up and make your beds and do stand-up counts. And the guy at the unit was just being a dick. Some of the COs are good. I got nothing against the COs. I got a lot of friends and family that are COs, police officers, firemen. I've never asked them for help in any one of my situations. I would never put that burden on any of my friends or family. I'll take care of it myself.
Right. Yeah. So what was, after that, how after sitting in there for 3 years, you were finally approached, or when did that lawyer approach you, and what was his
Anthony
name,
Bailey came and visited me in prison. And
and how long were you in there at that point?
I think a year and a half at that point.
Damn.
Yeah.
So when he
Well, I
approached
thought
you,
I
you know,
wasn't
what
coming
was it?
home. I mean, my Sully was Charlie Predator. He was an axe murderer. Killed a gay guy over drugs. For drugs with an axe, and then he chopped the dog up because he wouldn't stop barking.
What the
Yeah,
fuck,
he was
man?
my Sully at OCC where I got kicked out of. They leave you alone if you just don't get out of bed by the third time because they have to shut the whole prison down in order for the
Mhm.
13th to come and get you. Everybody gets locked up, screws up the cook counts and food, chow line, everything. So after the third time, they called it in and they're like, yeah, I need the extraction team up here for Tanso. They said, Tanso again? Yeah. Fuck you, leave him alone. Let him sleep. It's easier.
Yeah,
Uh,
and just stay out of trouble sleeping.
yeah, well, it didn't work that way either. Some young kid from East Boston got fresh with me. Guy in a wheelchair tried to stab me.
What?
Didn't end up too good for either one of them.
So what happened? What did you do when you retaliated with when they were trying to stab you? I guess the guy in the
Well, the
wheelchair.
guy in
What
the wheelchair, his last name was McDonald. I think it was like Michael McDonald or something like that.
Michael McDonald?
Yeah. And he was in a wheelchair and he's throwing all these. I used to be a Golden Glove and I did this and I moved kilos of coke. I got hookers. Can I borrow a soup? I wanted that. So I was having a little fun. He got a little mad and he wheeled himself over to the cell and I was with Stevie Cox then was my cellie, a serial bank robber. He looked like the Thing, this guy. And so he definitely had the bottom button. He wasn't even getting into that fight. And he wheels over and he comes right into the door and he pulls it out so the guards can't see. You come on, you tough. You think you're tough now? And Stevie looks at me and he's like, "You're gonna handle this, or do I gotta get out of bed?" I said, "I got it, Steve." I said, "Go ahead, swing, Golden Glove. Go ahead, swing." He swung, he missed. I grabbed him by the arm, I pulled him out of the wheelchair.
Jesus,
I said,
man.
"Now get up. Let's see what you got." And then
And
I
he
stomped him.
what the
Split
fuck?
head, broken hip.
Damn. So did you get
Yeah.
in big trouble for that shit?
No, they didn't press charges. He said he wasn't going to rat. Stevie Crack carried him back to his wheelchair and wheeled him back to the cell and put him in bed. And as soon as the doors cracked, he gave me up. They didn't find the knife for a week later. No
What
one believed
did you
me.
take it?
No, he did. Someone did. Someone did it. Those things hit the floor. They grabbed them fast. A lot of people don't know how to make them. I took a
Oh yeah.
bladesmith class at Mass College of Arts.
So it came in handy.
Well, yeah, I didn't take it back then, but I took it afterwards. I took it while I was
Oh
going to jewelry school because I
yeah.
was a big knife collector. I had like $10,000 in folding knives.
Jesus.
Yeah, just in
You like
folding
your knives.
knives. Yeah,
So,
I go
so
through
then
a lot
what?
of them. I buy them in
What?
bulk on that cutlery show. 180 knives for $200. Yeah, Bowie knives and samurai swords and axes. Yeah, send them. Put it on the card. I ain't
Let's
paying
see.
anyways.
Let's see. We got a comment in here.
Okay.
Audio. He's he said, "Hello, Polly. Great seeing you. Missed you yesterday.
Yeah.
Have a
Yeah,
great show."
sorry about that. As you can tell by looking at me, I'm a little under the weather. This thing ain't going away. I think they gave
Colby.
me COVID.
Oh, jeez. Colby
Yeah.
commented. He said, "Two of the best in the biz in one podcast. How do you do it?"
Who's that? Oh, Kobe. Hey,
Colby,
Kobe.
yeah.
Hey, Tom. Tom's a great guy. You remember me, Tom?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
did an interview with him too.
Oh, my God. Tom's the best.
Oh, yeah.
When I get rid
Dave's
of
blogs. He
hey,
says, "Sup?"
yeah,
What
all
up?
the time. He gets me. He loves it. He knows all the right things to ask. He gets all the answers.
Yeah, yeah. He look right now. He just
Uh,
said Agio just said you got to ask him about the lawyer. So let's
yeah.
hear about this.
F. Lee Bailey. That's why we're just talking about prison a little. I was setting up Walpole. Back then it was maximum security where you go first. And I was sentenced to a double natural life on and after with a 3 to 5 on and after that for a handgun that was never introduced into evidence.
So it
That's
was
how much
all
the judge
sloppy.
hated me. Well, I sat there laughing at him.
Did you
When
have
you
any
get
smart
afraid, you might as well take it off the chin. Know what I mean?
I know
Seriously, if you
you
know you're going to lose, you just what are you going to do?
I know you
Oh,
had to have the smart comment when the judge sentenced you. What,
oh, I said, come on, let's go. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. Thought we were on a
oh
bender for a
man.
week that week.
So when this lawyer came in, okay, so just kind of break it down. When he came, what his name was, and what his involvement was with you.
Um, his partner was Ken Fishman, who was my attorney through the years. My first arrest was for guns and chemical mace, the illegal search and seizure laws. My case, look up my name on it. How they can't take the keys out of the ignition and open up the trunk. All you guys out there can thank me for that one. It's all getting home because of me. uh, so, he showed up, and I'm like, I thought it was a joke at first, and like when the feds want to talk to you, they can't call you in and say the feds are here to see you because it puts you in jeopardy. So they'll say attorney visit. So I thought the FBI was there, so I was ready to just be real flippy. And I walked in, I was like, holy shit. I was like, Mr. Bailey, how we doing today? Is everything all right? He's like, yes, Mr. Tanso. Yeah, Marine all the way.
Yeah,
He's a fighter pilot, yeah. And I was like, what can I do for you? I says, you're working on my appeals. He says, I got a good idea. He says, I might be able to get you out of here. He says, yeah, all right.
damn.
He says, I need you to sign this paper. I said, what's that? He says, I want to take your case. I said, I can't afford you. He said, no, I'm doing it for pro bono. He says, I want to teach the state of Massachusetts something. He goes, I know
I'm
you're
sure.
getting railroad. He goes, I've been following your case since day one with Ken. And he says, my whole life I waited for your case. And I says, what do you mean? He says, I wanted an innocent guy being accused and the guilty man pointing the fingers. He goes, this is my dream case. You got to let me have it.
So I'm sure you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Oh,
I
yeah, give
mean,
me the papers. I'll sign them. I'll sign anything.
yeah, you had no other options going. I mean, this dude just offers. He walks in there. That's got to be life changing because you
Yeah,
just been sitting in there for a year and a half. So
yeah,
I mean, it took a year and a half after that point for him to help you
yeah.
get out of there, right?
And then 6 more years on bail, plus three before I got convicted, 50,000 cash.
Damn.
Yeah.
So, what did he do to, help you? Like, how was he able to get you out, I guess?
He helped me through the whole first trial just as an advisor. Him and Ken Fishman were like best friends, and F. Lee Bailey, we all know, just passed away. Hey, F. Lee. And Ken was real concerned. He knew he was going to lose the case. They were putting uncrossed examined testimony from the eyewitness into the trial. So my lawyer never had a chance to defend me. And he wouldn't do it. During the first trial, he never showed up. And his name's Richard Storella. And he's probably listening. Hey, Rich. I was on the phone with him last week. We got to go for coffee, he said. Well, he remembers me growing up, and he knew if he blamed me, no one wouldn't, know what I mean, not believe it. So,
Right. Yeah. So you're just kind of like, you just
yeah,
kind of went
so,
with what he said. I'll go ahead.
yeah, but I took a lie detector test. It was admissible in Massachusetts back then, one of the only states that allowed it. And I passed with flying colors. I took it while I was at Charles Street Jail, which used to be a Civil War prison. Give you an idea of a horror show. They didn't have two toilets. They had big metal bowls stuck in the wall. Bars on the inside windows. You look through the bars to see the rest of the inside of the prison. We
What
used
the
to we
fuck?
used to swing stuff on sheets to the guys next door. Pass it down.
What would you be passing, I guess?
Oh, sandwiches, whatever. Oh,
Oh, just
if
whatever
someone
to.
bought it, it's like I knew a lot of people, so I'd get out late night. One of the guys I knew was from East Boston. I think he's there now too. Frankie Champer was, and he used to come and let me out at night, and I go stay on they had pay phones. They used to give you 10 dimes a day to make phone calls. So I had a whole jar full of dimes someone gave me, and
And you just go and make some phone calls.
yeah, you let me out. I just sit there, pull up the chair, and stay on the phone with my girl.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So I'm guessing there was no fucking cameras back then for that. For
No,
them to
there's
get.
nothing in there. If you ever watch Boondock Saints, they show you the inside of the prison. They actually show you the platform where the electric chair used to be. And right
Damn. So
across from that's Murderer's Row, where I was. Death Row. Yeah, I was sitting on it.
So what was
So
like the worst part of that being in there, I guess? Obviously losing time and everything, but like what was, one
knowing
of the
you're
worst?
innocent and no one believes you. Because you can't say, what are you going to say? I'm innocent.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
no one would listen to you at all. Well, your lawyer did. He's the one that approached you, so luckily someone had some kind of faith in
that
you.
was the
And
second trial.
oh,
I
okay,
had two full jury trials. That's what I tell
damn, dude.
everybody. I'm like, yeah, if you want to call me a rat, if I'm watching, it's on court TV. You can see who testified and who didn't. They
So that
wouldn't
was
let
a
that. They wouldn't let F. Bailey go on camera because he owned stocks in Court TV. He was one of the first shareholders. He helped
oh
invent it. So they
yeah.
wouldn't let it.
So
But my co-defendants' trials are on then. We could watch the whole thing on Court TV. Louis Costa and Frank De Benedetto.
so it
Um,
was a big deal for back then that time. Everybody was kind
oh
of tuning
yeah,
into it, right?
oh
Keeping up
yeah.
with it.
We were all young, like in our 20s, from like 18 till I got arrested. I was out robbing every night or selling coke.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip. This clip came from one of my interviews I did in the past. Please hit subscribe if you want to get more clips like this. Also, if you want to watch the full interview, I'll put a link in the description. Or you can hit the button on the screen to watch the full interview.